Hi everyone, this is Emmanuel. First of all, I would like to thank everyone to be present in the distance. I hope everyone find well. Also, I want to say I'm sorry for my English. This is the first time that I present in a DebConf, so I'm very happy to be able to take part of this conference. The purpose of this talk is to tell what was my experience trying to create or activate a community of users and contributors of free and open source software in a small town where I currently live in. So let's start. First, I would like to introduce myself. I'm from La Rioja, Argentina. La Rioja has a population of 200,000 people approximately. It's a very nice to live here. It's very quiet. It's a nice place. I love contribute on open source and free software projects. I really like spend my free time trying to help a little in this kind of project. I started contributing on Debian in 2017, but I use it since 2010. Up to date, Debian is my favorite Linux distribution, and I still use it. Um, Also, I'm very happy because I'm Debian maintainer since February, so it's good that. Well, to begin with the talk itself, I would like to answer a question. Why should we use free and open source software? First of all, we can say that we have more control that what we are running because the source code is available for everyone. We can be sure in some degree that there's nothing malicious running behind the software, since there are many eyes looking at the code and ensuring that security. This allows us to have more transparency in the software that we are running, right? It also allows us to reduce cost, especially the cost of licenses and maintenance costs. With this, I don't want to say that the open source and free software are free, but which help us to reduce cost, right? Also, we don't need to have an absolute dependency to a company. To property software, not only take away freedoms and many possibilities, but also come to us to create dependency to that company that are very difficult to break without paying a high cost. In the other hand, for people that have more experiences, for example, with more experiences with programming language or using some systems, using free and open source software allow you to gain more experiences because you have that's if obviously if you have the time, you can learn how the tool works. Um, and you can apply some improvement, you can fix something. This change that you are making could be served to other people, yeah, and some particular organization, to the society. So that's parts of code of the entire software could be adapted to our purpose. So that's a good reason to use free and open source software. So, what happened with my university? First of all, I don't want I don't want to misinterpret me what I'm talking about negatively from a university. Just I'm giving some point of view, some my point of view that I think is a little bad, but I have to mention that the university as an institution always opening the doors and support all free and open source software activity. Okay, in the first place, education here in Argentina is public. Here, luckily, there are many public universities, and the most prestigious university in Argentina are public. So most of the institutes here are free, and everyone has the right to study. I'm not saying that studying is free And there is also social and cultural barriers, but that's another topic that I will not touch here. So we can say that university are for everyone. If we pay attention on all the things that I say, we can say that the university are for everyone. So unfortunately, there are very few teachers who use and promote the use of free and open source software, which is a problem. Why? Um, if we say that university are for everyone, what happens if, for instance, a student should use a property software for a subject? We're sure that the students they will have the ability to pay for the license of that software. Maybe I think the response is no. Maybe students to fulfill the subject work or the homework, they will have to do not so legal practice or not so good practice or actions in order to comply with the activity. But we don't think about also we don't think about a student when they finish their studies. Uh, we are going to have professionals who are in the same situation as when they are a student, um, and they have to make some actions, bad actions, to try to use the software that they learn during their studies, and that's not so good. Also, another problem is how to teach how the thing works. Um, if we don't have access to the code, we never know how it's working or how something is implemented. The only thing that we can do is, okay, we have an input and output, and no more than. Um, but yeah, we don't have more detail of its operation, so it is attempting with our freedom to learn, right? As a last point, we are losing the sharing culture. Um, there's something that represents that free and open source software. It is is the community. If we don't have a community around a project, that software project becomes one more tool, and where nobody talk or share too much, since there are not too much to talk. And if during our student life we don't see that culture, the culture of the share, we may not have that culture in the future. For example, in this survey we conduct of courses of advanced operating system of the career of system information system engineering. Is one of these courses is one of the last of the year. We can observe that um, most of the students never use Linux software. Another large percentage install it but use it and then remove it. So we wanted to know why happened that, and here I can extract some response of that survey. We can see that the people respond that, okay, just I use it just for a particular courses. I have not um, a good base. I cannot adapt it to Linux. I have no time to study a Linux distribution, and this is a problem when the students works and study, because they use a private system. I don't want to say which system, but I use that private system in my work. And well, yes, you have to 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 stay in. You have to use the same system that you are using in your work in your computer. So yes, you have to. You do not need the necessity to install Linux. Okay, and taking care with the point that I mentioned, I say, okay, um, let's create a community. I realized that some years ago, they had already made a group of free software, but it didn't do it anymore in this time. So I asked for help from the university that probably to make some publicity of this idea. Um, and well, some one day we have able to meet. So okay, I told them about the idea. There was several for us. There was a lot of enthusiasm. My first my idea was create a Debian teams and Python team, which are projects that I know. Um, in addition to give talk to make some talk to general public promoting the free software. I can see a lot of enthusiasm in the public. There are a lot of people, but uh, there are a lot of people in that meet, and they want to participate in that group. Okay, was a very enthusiasm in this date, but uh, with the pass of the time, the group was no longer seen so motivated. Uh, It's very difficult, at least from my experiences, motivate to people to contribute in free and open source software project. We had trouble to starting a new project. Um, Never we came up with an idea. We could not find a project to start contribute, and again, is my point of view is was not so easy to maintain a group, to maintain the group active. So uh, maybe was in this time was a little disappointing for me, but not so bad. Um, Within the community, there are always two or three guys that are motivating and they want to participate on all the things. So we could carry out the Latin American Festival of Installation of free and open source software. In Spanish, is Festival Latinoamericano de Instalación de Software Libre. This is one of the most important festivals here in Latin American. Um, and it's developed in several cities in Latin America. This year, obviously we did it virtually, and we could have the La Rioja as one of the venues. So we have a lot of participation. We have a lot of people that make some talks. So it was a very nice day. Also, we started a month ago a cycle of meetups to try to discuss about free and open source software technology. The plan of us is have the meet at least once a month. Um, and trying to promote and encourage more people join to the group and who are encouraged to participate actively in the community. So to have some conclusion of all the things that I say, in my opinion, the problems being able to initiate the use and contribute to the free and open source software is because there is there is not a culture of share in most of us. Maybe because we live in a small town and there are not many employment here. Maybe we see ourselves as enemies because if I share my experience, if I share my solution to other people, maybe that people could gain can win my unemployed. So it's not in our plan trying to share our knowledge. So I think that is one of the problem. Another, in other hand, other problem is within the university or system education is not they are not the determination to use free and open source software. Um, and well, if doesn't exist that determination, obviously the students we never know about the free and open source software culture and community. So just for finish, what can we do from now? I think the most important thing is trying to continue on promoting free and open source software in my cities. Um, Maybe take courses, introductory courses, for example, Debian packaging courses, for example. Um, Courses that the people learn to read the code, learn about the culture of the free and open source software. Continue with meetups, motivate to more people to participate, not only as to listen. The people need to participate actively in making some talks, for example. Um, in the other hand, okay, organize more events. Um, and I think the most important thing is make noises. I don't know, for example, create a web page, start writing a blogs, have more participation in social network, for example. So try to say, okay, here we have a community, we have a team, we have a group that we participate actively in important projects as, for example, Debian, I don't know, Python, Linux. We are contributing actively, we are using that software, and okay, come here to start learn about this kind of project. So this is all for now. Thank you very much for listening to me, and I'm open to questions. Thank you.
Thanks a lot for sharing your talk with us, Emmanuel. Now we have little time for one question. So the first one is, how do you engage a local community during COVID-19 days?
Yeah, so in my experience in moved the meeting virtually, um, it's a little bit more easy. Um, I know for some reason the people prefer the virtually before face-to-face meet. So I
Okay,
think that this situation maybe help us to have a little more meetings in the months.
great. The next question. With regard to the problem of learning time on new Linux and free software, have you thought of any ideas that could help to counteract that in the university students?
I think that the best way to try to move the student to the free software and that they can study GNU Linux. I think that the best way is making initial courses, something like okay, let's study some tools or some program language and tell them that okay, the tool that you are using is currently is a free and open source software.
Perfect. Thank you very much for your responses, and see you next time.
Okay, see you and thank you for listening to the talk.